Yeah, I'm a tea get cold. Think you there?
Yes, sir.
We are go live.
We live already.
Live already.
Oh,
Dada,
Yes, sir. Well, go on.
fully active now, you know.
Yeah, man. Give thanks and praises, Again, linking up again for the next episode of the Perfect Balance Strat class, a place where conscious and like-minded individuals are guided towards the realization of their full potential through collective reasoning. We have with us today Bingi,
Greeting.
Yaga,
Yes, sir.
Okavango, Brother Dulani, and I'm yours truly, Ras Dada.
rise up, great ones.
Yes,
Yeah, like,
wonderful. And it's another episode and reason. Yeah, what go on there, them?
Yeah,
Fully
man, all is
active,
good,
brother.
Give
I
thanks,
give
give
thanks for
thanks.
life.
kind of
Naturally.
harder with a bit, but
Continually.
work have to go on the same way.
And the mighty life giver,
Well, you beat up some tea, though. You nurse something.
Yeah, man, kind of under with a bit, man.
All right.
Yeah, but
Well, right,
can't
move
stop
that.
the work,
Exactly.
Mm.
If you adapt, improvise, and overcome,
Yes, I.
Which is right. Yeah, so we see this strong we see a very strategic move being made where the US has made a airstrike on a region in the northern section of Nigeria, allegedly in a bid to curtail insurgent activities in that area, some Islamic State affiliated groups in that area. They are them familiar with this event, this strong?
Yes, King.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so we just wanted to talk a little bit about it to see what our views were on this situation. Brother Delani, we might just jump off with the eye because the eye seem very eager to talk about this one. So we
That's
just jump
so,
off with the eye,
my
Brother
brother.
Delani.
We
So
always have to be ever ready in this struggle,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because, this is an intellectual battlefield and we have to be prepared.
Naturally.
Yes, I am aware of this this attack that took place in a region of Nigeria.
Right.
I must say that let me just preface my argument by saying that Islamic extremists are terrorist activities in Africa is unacceptable to me and to African people in general. It's something that we have always rejected. See it. And the violence amongst our own people have never been something that is beneficial to us. Unless
Right.
we are conducting a revolution to bring about justice and equality. What we're seeing here, this is an issue that needs to be dealt with, and it needs to be dealt with once and for all. The piecemeal approach, the tic-tac approach to dealing with them is not going to work. One thing I must say, these elements, these forces that are operating in North Africa, you cannot reason with them. You cannot negotiate with them. You have to just eradicate them. It's like, you have some bad man element in Jamaica. You can't, take no talk. So when you go in, you have to just deal with them. Harsh.
As I'm saying, it's like a cancer.
Exactly. You have to cut it out. You sound muffled still. But hear me now about this particular strike. I think that this strike, me personally is saying that this strike should have been done by the Nigerian military. I think the US, if they want to help, they could have provided the weaponry to the Nigerian military to carry out that operation. Similar to how they operate in Ukraine. They give all of those firepower to the Ukrainian military, and the Ukrainian military carry out the attack. Why did the American military or government decided that they would carry out the strike directly themselves rather than give it to the Nigerian military to carry it out, as they done in Ukraine. What is it about African having the ability to defend themselves? What is it about our having the capability and access to that kind of firepower that they don't want to see happen? So that was my concern about that. The strike itself, I'm not opposed to a strike on those forces, because those forces are the enemy of African people. You know what I'm saying? They're the enemy of African aspiration, African tradition and customs, everything to do with us as an African people. They want to eliminate it, and they want to establish the extreme version of Islam as a replacement for African culture.
Okay. So, Okavango, where do you stand on this?
Yes, I share the same sentiment with Brother Delani. I don't know why United States think, and the Nigerian government think, it was best for the United States to carry out that strike. It make Nigeria look weak to me, if they are not competent, right? If they're lacking the arms and the technology, it could have easily well pass that technology or knowledge to them, and they could go in and do what they're supposed to do. I don't know why United States has to get involved in that way, where they have to carry out the strike. Nigerian government should know the people that are causing the problem and which people to take out, right? Because we know that the insurgent is a big problem in Nigeria. And by the way, the Nigerian government will know more than anybody else, because there's a lot of different little wars, or what's the best word for it? Conflicts going on in the region, right? So I'm saying the Nigerians would have best known which one is a insurgent and which one is the bandits, which one is the farmer herder conflict, and know where to go. You know what I mean?
The reports I've read so far, pretty much most of them I've read, all support the rhetoric that this was a Nigerian intelligence-led effort, meaning Nigeria provided the intelligence to the US and the US took the action. So I believe that the Nigerian government provided the intel of where to strike, and the US took the strike.
Well, but there's a problem with all of that too, right? And although we agree on everything, I agree on everything the ILM said, right? The Nigerian government working with the US to bomb ISIL in a territory that they somehow can effectively manage or fight these terrorists, right? But if they provide intelligence, one of the town the bomb had nothing to do with ISIL. They don't even have no operations going on there. Two, I think this is symbolic on when it happens. It happens on Christmas Day, right? And we have a country who's been talking about Christian genocide as well. But the territory, what is happening in it is purely Islamic, right? Regardless. But not only is it Islamic, we see that the influence of these Islamic fractions in that northeast region or northwest region is exploding, meaning it's becoming wider and wider. That the territory and their influence, their Islamic influence, is becoming wider in the region. So I think this is a symbolic action for further actions, I don't think this here is necessarily what everybody's, how many people actually died in this bombing, right? But besides that, Nigeria too, as one of African leading economy, why do you even need the US to come in and do anything in your country? Because once you open this kind of worm, so to speak, this is going to continue, This doesn't end here, They're going to be, now going forward, there's going to be a premise on which they could come into your land and do certain things, you're really giving up your sovereign rights, right? But you're also showing your weakness, right? As a leading economy, as a leading country in the hemisphere, you're showing how weak you are, right? How susceptible you are, even though you're fighting the so-called or not even so-called, but these terrorist organizations. We understand what's happening. But you can't have foreign entity come in and bomb in your country. It gives them a platform to work on in the future.
Right.
Remember who we're dealing with, and we're dealing with people who are not really honorable in deal making.
True.
We can see it all over the earth. Historically, they're not honorable in deal making. So this year is in my eye is shameful on the part of the African country, most of all, not being able to gather resources within your region to fight against this threat. We understand we don't want this threat there, but we also trying to break away from certain elements of influence, right? Yes, and we're trying to be more and more independent. But it gives them a platform to move into certain, because remember, the territory you're talking about to where it's being bombed, it's next to the Sahel region too,
All right, don't go into that part yet, Bingy. Let's hear Yaga. Let's hear Yaga's take before we start linking it now to the region.
Yeah, man.
Well, right in our region, we are going up.
Yeah, you have to.
Because if you notice what going on, weeks before this happened, weeks before this incident took place, Trump made a threat that he was going to go into Nigeria if Nigeria don't sort this problem out, which Nigeria has rejected that it's not a religious conflict, because both Muslims and Christians are facing the consequence and are victims of whatever is going on. And they have shown over the years that they have been unable to get on top of this security issue and deal with the security matter. Now, 1 month ago, on the 24th of November, if you look on the map here, you can see Ghana, where the surveillance flights were taken off flying over Nigeria, which gathers the evidence which the US has used to launch the attack, because they've identified the targets. They've said they've identified the area, which is operated by a private company. So this intelligence is operated from a company out of Mississippi in Ghana. Why is this important and why is this significant? Why am I saying this? US lost its base in Niger back in 2023, July 2023, where they were carrying out reconnaissance, surveillance, and their intelligence. And they had a drone base, which became also an armed drone base that they were operating from. So US at that time have complete control of the skies in the Sahel region, and they also can fly into northern Nigeria and other areas, which they were gathering evidence. So on the strength of that cooperation they had with Niger, on the strength of that cooperation which they have in Niger, and losing those two bases, they've lost all eyes on the skies in the Sahel region, because the Sahel region have basically overthrown the government, take over the region, form an alliance, which, remember, the US was present in Niger, and all these insurgencies have been going on within the Sahel region all this time. But the fact that they've lost control of the sky and they don't have the access to information and the type of partnership that they had with Niger, they've now formed an alliance and moved that resources to Ghana. where they can have access to the north of Nigeria and also on the border of the Sahel region. So right next to Niger, we have Burkina Faso, and further down we have Mali. So these are gaps that the US are trying to fill in. And I think under pretext of going after Christians, which it doesn't really care about Christians, because Christians in America are facing persecution and they are undergoing a lot in America and other places of the world. So for me, this is a late non-starter, and I think this is the underlying issue why they actually want to go in the region, because they are trying to reassert their authority in the sky to gather the information that they need.
Well, on my part, I am concerned anytime an African country has to rely on any external country for quote unquote aid or strategic support or whatever terminology they want to use to deal with this, right? If we look at this whole situation with Nigeria, right, we see it coming up as you're talking about the Christian genocide, quote unquote. We see the strike coming in on Christmas Day, which is a statement again to say,
Symbolic.
this is a Christian
A
Mhm.
Christmas gift.
it's
Fight. Is that
quote
Christian
unquote
fight?
Christmas gift by
Mhm.
the president, right? So they delivering a Christmas gift. But my concern is this, and I believe that it has been alluded to as well. We're saying that this situation that exists in this region, that of the jihadists and their fight to establish Islamic or extremist, quote unquote, extremist Islamic ideologies in this region. I don't necessarily take the stance of, oh, this should be completely eradicated and we must get rid of it or whatever. I agree that this is a problem, but I don't see eradication as the solution, because when we do that, it's only going to breed more extremists, right? So what I believe we have to do as a people is we have to really come to the root of these problems. We have to come and find out what is really causing these problems, because most of these problems are coming from the prolonged implementation of injustices against people, right? And as long as those injustices continue and persist, then people will always be of this mindset, right? So we have to come to a realization of what's really causing these things and see how best we can do it. We see that this attack on these people and killing because remember, these people make a conscious decision, to say they're gonna put certain devices on themselves and go into places and eliminate even their own existence by a conscious decision. So obviously unaliving these people is not gonna be the solution, because they are not concerned about that.
If I may
Yes, sir.
add a little more
Mhm.
context to this,
Mhm.
these forces have been operating in that region of Africa for a very long time,
Mhm.
Decades.
Mhm.
and from the sources that I have read, they are hell bent on they're opposing Western education,
Mhm.
they're opposing science,
Mhm.
they oppose African culture,
Mhm.
um, and many have tried to intervene, reason with them, unable to. But I think that we can try again to assemble some type of tribunal or some type of conference to try to reason with them. But I think that if we really want to solve that problem, all those states that we talk about, Nigeria, Ghana, the Sahel states, those governments and military need to unite. They have a thing called ECOWAS. They can unite as a military force and just pool all their military resources to finally deal with these people.
I
Because
think, brother
Exactly.
Durrani, Brother Delany, I think that ECOWAS wouldn't be a great option
You know,
for that.
I'm saying
But it would
because
have
No,
to
but it's
be
an
a
option.
collaborative
structure,
amongst
that,
those countries. Yeah,
yeah,
but it wouldn't be
yeah,
ECOWAS.
but no, but that structure is
Mm.
there. So
Right. Yeah,
some,
but you can't use ECOWAS because you have the Sahel states that just came out of it.
I know, but I'm saying,
But you still have other countries
in order
belonging.
to deal with these
No, but
military,
these are players in it.
I know,
The Sahel states.
yeah, but in order to deal with the insurgency,
Mhm.
I think you would need to include the Sahel
Mhm.
state.
Right,
And
which
in,
is why I'm
and
saying we couldn't use ECOWAS.
you know,
But
but
ECOWAS is the problem here, Brother Dulani. I think that's what he's saying. ECOWAS is the problem, as a part of the problem.
okay, well, if that is the case, something similar
Yes,
where
we
there
have to
could be
have
a
a concomitant between all of them.
military operation.
Mhm.
I think
Right.
you can't provide safe haven to these people.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because if the Sahel go alone, they would just go into Ghana, go into Benin, go into Nigeria, and find safe space.
Mhm.
So if all these military come together and says, listen, wherever they are, we're going to just circle them, give them no escape route,
A coordinated effort, a collaborative effort.
and you can negotiate to them from the position of power. So bring them to the table again. I say you're surrounded. There's no route for you to escape. So you want to join, integrate with our society or not? No. I heard that in Nigeria, the Fulanis, they make up a bulk of these Islamic forces.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they are nomadic people.
Nomadic.
Nomadic.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And inside of Nigeria, they live the most rugged. They live the most, what they call quote,
Bush
I don't,
life.
eh?
Bush life.
But yeah, there's another word. I don't want to be disparaging, but like more like a vagabondish type of a living.
They say
That's
bush
what
life.
bush life. Yeah,
Bush
they
life.
live, and they walk around and they, so there's a perception of them and the way they conduct themselves. They don't tend to integrate or try to join in with the social development, and they're just stuck in that way. So, but the thing about it, my brother, I don't know how they expect to come run a country. I mean, they want to impose Islamic law in Nigeria, in the Sahel, in West Africa. How is that going to be possible?
But
I mean,
Brother Lani, I have to interject right here,
yeah.
because call the Fulanis what you want to call them,
Mm-hmm.
they are victims here too, because
That's
they are
correct.
victims of colonialism.
Right.
Because if we are talking about the Fulani land, the place we call the Sahel would be like the Fulani country. So they used to
Right.
trad their nomadic lifestyle trad from the west of the Sahel to the east of the Sahel. That's right across the Sahara from Mauritania go straight back into Sudan. So their nomadic lifestyle, they are moving
Mhm.
from
Place to
east to
place.
west,
Yes.
right? With
And
these
that's the conflict.
colonial lines, now they have to cross into Nigeria,
Mhm.
and then cross from Nigeria into Burkina Faso, and they have to cross a lot of lines
Mhm.
on
Right.
land that used to be technically their country or their land,
The
right?
red
So
region.
no,
They have
that creates a
access to these places.
so no,
They have
they
access.
stuck them in one place. They cannot move as they used to. And stuck in one place, people are saying, oh, this is Nigeria, this is Burkina Faso, and you can't do this in Burkina Faso, you can't do that in Burkina Faso. So
Yeah.
it caused conflict.
Yes.
So you know what I mean? We have to you know what I mean? We have to look into that. We can't just say like they are just, you know what I mean, like they have no case. They have a case because
But at present though, the influence is not what the eye speaking of as a nomadic people moving from place to place in harmony with the land, The
That's the
conflict is with religion. No, it's Islamic ideology. It's not that Fulani people. The Fulani people are not living naturally in their natural state anymore. They're being influenced through that same colonial ideology, whether it's Islam or whatever it is, but it's
Bingy,
Islam.
But what I'm saying is coming from the colonial, because right now the lines when you block them in, and then a man come and say, hey, is is those people cause the problem. So people start they start looking to look at people who they used to live with before and say, okay, you are the problem. And that's when the ideally come in and they say, yo, they start make it be a Christian versus Muslim thing.
But
I think
the original thing.
I think Brother Delani wants to respond.
Okavango. But that is a big factor you're talking about. And even what Bingy said, you know. But here the thing with how the Fulani operate though, that we can't rule that out. They come in as a gangster force. They come in, they have no respect for all deer on the land. They come in and just trash your place. Trample your house. Bring through thousands of cattle. Nyam down your agriculture and gone. And if you resist, they'll eliminate you. This has been a pattern. They go from town to town. These remote region, in that region, they very remote, and they overrun you, and they don't respect your existence there.
But Brother Delani, I believe this.
But are you talking historically?
Let me understand. Yeah. So what I'm saying,
currently,
originally, these land that are now.
That they've been killed is because of the sea migration, and they're coming in with their forces and they're just overrunning those communities. And anybody resist, you die.
But Brother
so now, it is at a stage now where those bandits are described as terrorists by Nigeria along with the Islamic forces. So this is where the intervention is at the moment, where Nigeria was forced to cooperate, because you know this is a part of the tactics what Donald Trump used when he negotiate. He used all sort of tactics to get you to come to the negotiating table. So probably if he had approached in the first place and want to do what he wants to do, as he said he was gonna intervene, it would be an outcry from the Nigerian people. And at the moment, the Nigerian people are saying that, some people are saying that they don't see what is the result of the bombing that are the strikes that take place. So these are some concerns and these are some matters that are arising out of what is going on.
But it's symbolic.
In order for them to get to Nigeria, they have to pass through Chad, Niger, they have to pass through Mali. You have to pass through all those territories to get to Nigeria, to get to Ghana. So I'm saying, how is that possible? How are these forces able to pass through all those territories to get so far down into Nigeria?
Because they've got cooperation, they've got military cooperation with Nigeria.
Traveling all along. Historically, Brother Delani,
that's where they've been historically.
Traveling all along. So the people of this area.
So the civilians don't see them.
No, but Brother Delani, the thing is, the Fulani is not in like one country, So you can't just put Fulani like that. They come from this country. They come from any country that is Sahel touch. The Fulanis are there.
Okay.
Right? And historically they were moving across with their cattle from one side to the next, finding better grazing and whatever.
Without borders.
Before these lines, right? Before these lines.
So are they making that claim? Is that the claim they're making?
Yes, that's the conflict, because guess what now? When they see the people coming now with their farming and say this is Nigeria as invading on their land, because when the lines were drawn, there was no consideration for the Fulani and their cattle coming across. So now when they come with their cattle now and come see people are farmed there, you know what I mean? Because of conflict. And then now you have the man them know that these time now we come with them.
This is what they describe as the farmer herder struggle.
Farmer herder, but then the Islamic ideology coming now. It become now Christians against Muslim. Because they make it seem like it's Christian but Muslim, but it really come from the colonial era where they have no consideration for the line that them draw.
Yes, I know that Fulani never got a state. They never got
a state. And there's a big group of people, the massive group of people, stretch from the Mauritania go hard across the Sahara to Sudan.
And the
Yeah.
reason they didn't
Yeah.
get a state is because their ideology is one of nomadic. They're nomadic,
Ah.
so they don't believe in settling in any one area. They believe that they can have access to the entire land. But under
Right.
colonialism and imperialism, they want to claim ownership of the land. So therefore, now
correct.
they're restricting movement of these people between. So this is why I say that we can't just say, oh, it is about eradicating these people. You understand? We have to come to the root cause of these problems in any conflict, at all.
And
But
understand the historical
the
context.
root cause here is perpetual. The root cause is not a cultural people. The root cause is a cultural people being influenced through religion. And in this case, it's Islamic religion. The root cause is not the traditional way of life, it's the influence of Islam or extreme Islamic ideology. That is the root cause.
So,
And you know, how do you eradicate that?
Benji, the way I look at it, if you take away the religion, I think the religion had to it, but if you take away the religion and just put humans there, just humans, there will still be a conflict because there is the Fulani gonna still have their herds coming across, and the settlers who settle there gonna still have their farms.
Who's arming them?
Well, then it's up to your government now, like in other countries, when you go and you see indigenous people having the right to move in certain areas, to establish that between them and these nomadic people. We see it across East Africa, where you have indigenous people being able to move like they freely did.
Brother Delany is asking a very pertinent question. Brother Delany, what's the question?
Who's arming them? Who's arming these people to make them so deadly?
Let's follow the money, brother Delany.
And ISIL.
Let's follow the money.
Let's follow the money. ISIL and Al Qaeda is arming these people.
Let's follow the money. No.
Come on,
ISIS was in Iraq. ISIS was in Iraq and they were in Syria. Who was supporting them then?
I hear boss them now, Yaga, so be careful.
Who was supporting them then?
Right. Same people.
So all of these people who were supporting them then are the same people who are supporting them now. So you cannot create the problem and then turn around and want to find the solution to solve the problem on the side because you created it in the first place. And you never stop them. As a matter of fact, there is one former ISIS leader now who is welcomed by the West. He's now the leader of Syria and he's going around parading in different Western countries as if they forget about all those atrocities that was committed under him.
And I want to say as well, right? I want to say as well where Bingi was saying that because of this Islamic, even if the root cause is through religion, right? Even if the root cause is through religion, we still have to then investigate what has driven these people to this extremist view, to this extremist ideology, because that too is as a result of injustices.
It seems like land and religion is playing a role here.
Big role, big role.
Of course.
Big role, man.
Of course.
Big role.
But Nigeria has rejected that claim. They have rejected that claim vigorously.
One of the things happening here, right?
Go ahead, Okavango.
No, Yaga, for some reason, Yaga talk after me. I mean, I don't see that?
Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Go on, yeah. Go through.
Okay. So one of the big thing here, right? People in the Christian world and in the Muslim world has used the conflict that these people are having to push their agenda, their religious agenda. And that is the one of the big things. Because, going back to the strikes, and the so-called genocide in Nigeria, we see that what the West is trying to do is shift from talking about an actual genocide taking place to make the now all of a sudden the Nigeria genocide take over the news. No, we are not hearing nothing about Gaza again. So it's a strategic shift, to talk about Yeah, it's a strategy shift.
So
And
it's
I
this
know,
move
I
of
know
the
you're right too,
genocide agenda.
but Ras, and we
Yeah, they
want to be
shift. They could
clear
have shift.
too, right? We want to be clear. This region that they're speaking about, the northeast and northwest region, is predominantly Islamic.
Yeah.
Predominantly.
No, if you want to get specific and go and talk about the place that got bombed, because the reports are they bomb, they take out bandits that was coming from, our insurgent that was coming from the Sahel into
From the
the,
Sahel.
right,
Yes.
and they bombed like 2 camps, right? But that region is not a region that was is
No.
known for that type of crime, like Islamic insurgency. It's not known for that. Is what is going on in that region is kidnappings, and it's
Right.
not kidnappings of Christians. It's kidnappings of anybody they catch.
And it's
Anybody.
So you could be
predominantly
a Christian,
Islamic.
you could
And
be
it's
Yetis, you could be
predominantly
what? They
Islamic.
kidnap you and ask for a ransom. That is the major crime going on in that region. That
Okavango.
is the northwest of Nigeria, right?
Yeah,
Okavango.
and northeast
Yes.
region.
Okavango.
Northwest, northeast. But
This
it's the
region
Sokoto,
is
Jews, right?
Sokoto,
predominantly Islamic.
Sokoto State.
One vice.
Yeah.
This region is predominantly Islamic.
Yeah,
Yes.
So
predominantly.
that means the majority of people being kidnapped would be Islam. Would
Would
It-
normally
exactly.
be Islam, right.
We're
But
showing an image of the map on the
I
screen,
heard
so look if
reports
you can see them.
of Christians
And
getting kidnapped into.
Yeah,
The-
but
the
they're going to be the
irony-
minority.
The irony is that even the president is a Muslim.
Right.
I don't have the numbers. I mean, the middle of the one
The
say,
Muslim
you know.
himself is a Muslim. Is a Muslim. The president of Nigeria is a Muslim. So
Yeah.
it creates a situation where you can't say it's a Christian versus Muslim, because the very man who approved it is a Muslim. You understand? So it creates a gray area there.
Right.
But I want to
That
get
is a different.
I want to
That
get
is
to
a
some,
different type of history, Brother Dulani, because that is also a part of the contention, because the leader, the leading imam or Islamic scholar within that region has come out and warned against Western intervention. They've warned against Western intervention and having these kind of intervention. And people in Nigeria are welcoming, in the South, they are welcoming this, and the Catholic Church is welcoming this strike also.
Of course.
Yeah,
Because they have been victim of this also.
Yeah,
Of course.
because when you listen to the social media, well, if a Christian beat them chest, So it creates this magnet now for a lot of these Christian zealous to
Yeah,
come
man, zoom in
out
for the map there.
against Muslim, against Islam and terrorism, and them I say, boy, it's a good thing. So it feeds into that conflict between Muslim and Christian.
This
Yeah.
age-old
Decent
conflict.
Muslim, decent Muslim and decent Christian now warring.
It's so Brother Delani, it's a change of the narrative that was going on, because we see the narrative was that Jews is taking out Muslims. That was the big thing, and by the way, it's still going on.
Still going
It's
on.
still happening right now, even
Yeah.
though it's not on the screen. So they just switch it
Every moment.
and put it on Nigeria. So I don't know why Nigeria can't see that and buying into this.
So they might take the battlefield come to West Africa now.
Yes, man. Because you know what I mean. It's more easier to talk about Africans and fire one another, because that has been the thing from ancient time. It always work. But we can't make it go. We can't make it go so.
The old cry now go did there.
Yeah, we can't make it.
No.
We can't make it go so still.
We cannot ignore the fact that Nigeria is rich in a lot of mineral resources,
Or that whole entire area, as a matter of fact. As a
we cannot ignore the fact that they are rich in gold. And we've seen a similar situation going on in the Caribbean, because the Nigerians are saying that they are not Caribbean. So they cannot have these kind of strikes going on within their region like that is taking place in the Caribbean.
Well, resources is always a part of it, because if you don't mind, sir, them give the bill to Nigeria for the strike.
So this is why as Bingi was alluding earlier, that when this happens, we have to be aware now that, listen, some kind of agreement may have been gotten to between these players, the US and the Nigerian government. And we
course.
know that when the US makes these deals, predominantly they're looking for something beneficial, being a capitalist country. So they're not going to do something unless it's going to benefit them, whether economically, whether on a resource level, whether on a potential growth in a marketplace, whatever level, there has to be some benefit for them to be willing to take a stance like this.
I would speculate to say that I would not put it by these politicians in Washington who would now expect Nigeria to increase the production of oil on the international market to reduce the cost of oil, therefore reducing the inflation in America to make the goods price go down. Because if you decrease transportation costs, you actually decrease the actual production costs of the goods on the shelf. And therefore, there's a sentiment in the economy where goods start to, the price of goods go down, and then the Republicans and those in power now would benefit from that euphoria of cheaper goods. So these are some of the calculations that I wouldn't put it behind them to be making, because one of the things, or you decrease the price of oil is by increasing production of oil.
Production, yeah.
So if they can get Venezuela to increase production, if they can get Nigeria to increase production, they already got the Saudis them lock. The Saudis them lock. So when you get all the major players to increase production, the price of oil on the global market will decrease, and it will benefit when in terms of inflation of goods will come down. So these are some of the calculations.
And I think that Brother Lani, and I think you look on it, because America is always, as Yaga said, follow the money, is where they can make money. It's not just increase it, is how they are going to make money from this.
Yeah.
Because what America has is a lot of oil refinery. I think I said this yes, right? They have a lot of oil refineries where they get oil, they import the thicker oil
and refine it.
To refine it, right? But these oil come from the majority, three countries. These oil come from. Venezuela has the most, Russia and Canada. If you notice that America is in problem with our three countries right now, right? They still get from Canada, but Venezuela has the biggest high reserves in the world, and they're not gonna get it from Russia because they in conflict with Russia. So what is going on? These oil refineries are going dry because they don't have enough oil coming in to keep them running. So people we're gonna go out of work,
which is why they need the increase in the supply,
right?
I mean, the reserve is there. What America, I think, because it's one of the matrix of it is to preserve themselves in power. Profit and power. That's how it works hand in hand. They need power to preserve their wealth. So to maintain the power position politically, to play on the political market, and the economic market, and on the political scene, increasing the production would be beneficial to them.
And we can't leave out BRICS out of it as well, because what BRICS was doing is creating a shift again from the dollar, right, being the universal trading currency. So that is a big thing again. So I
was going to end off the point about the oil by saying that in the Saudis, they know that their reserve is going down. Their reserve is going down, and that's why they diversify their economy, diversifying their investment. But the reserve in Nigeria and in Venezuela is still at a substantial level.
But Brother Lulani, in Venezuela, before all of this happened, remember, China, CCRC out of China already spent a $1 billion float platform to Venezuela to increase oil production from 12,000 barrels to 60,000 barrels,
a day.
Remember, before all this happened, We already had China playing in Venezuela, which started in September of 2025. So when you make the relation to the economics, oil, and this is all real. This is playing out before your eyes.
It's about spheres of influence.
Yeah, when you follow what's actually happening and why they're there too, in the interest of not being able to produce as much oil in America, and you have your foreign or your opponent operating in your region in such a manner, that's a threat to what they call national security. You know, Venezuela is very strategic in what they do. You know, but they're not just going to do anything in Venezuela. It got to be well contemplated because you already have big players in Venezuela.
But remember,
and to not make it
they declared Venezuela and Maduro a terrorist state also, you know.
Yeah.
And currently there's a blockade going on, and they've KILLED over 100 people on small fishing boats, claiming that the pretext as
narco.
Yeah. And stole 400 million barrels of oil with 2 ships.
Them thieves.
Don't forget.
Yeah, but not to go too far away from Africa.
Yes.
We don't want to left Africa too far.
Yeah,
this whole Nigeria bombing taking place. When you look at it, Nigeria being one of the leading country in Africa, one of the most populated country, one of the highest GDP, and when you look at it, they have to start where another country has to come from your country to take out, you know what I mean? We see conflicts going on all over the world. Conflicts going all over, you know what I mean? And people deal with them conflict internally, deal with them conflict by themselves. And in today's day, one of the top African countries need help to deal with their thing. It doesn't look good. I don't like the ethics.
No,
I don't
it's
like
shameful.
that.
That's why
You know what I mean? It looks like
shameful.
it's a backward step in the progression of
Yeah, it's a
Africa.
shameful.
That's why,
You know what I
that's why
mean?
His Majesty say, you know, that it's time that African people find African solutions.
African
to
solutions.
African problems.
Yeah.
Yes, I.
It's full time we stop looking outside of ourselves for other people to solve our problems. You understand?
and that's the solution now. And one of the solution, my brother, I think we have to always include solution, is we may have to create a territory.
We have to, not may, we have to.
Territory for those who are nomadic to roam. And that is your area. And you have to respect that area.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you can really create a territory for that, you know, because then there wouldn't be nomadic. You understand? Because they're going to be confined to a
but
there are traditional areas.
No, but there are traditional nomadic.
Traditional regions.
This is where you roam.
Respect has to be given to these people to say this is where we have life and how they've been living.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So we're going to accommodate
so basically, you're going to mark the territory and say, okay, this is where they roam. So respect their territory or their area of roaming.
Because you can't go roam in a Egypt and roam gone down other places and you're out of bound. You stay within a boundary and say you can do what you want to do here. You know what I'm saying? I think
them come like the maroon, them don't recognize the boundaries, they get me.
Yeah, right. So even those countries come together. You see, like Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Niger, Chad, they can come together and create a local area in all those borders. I said, this is
but Brother Dulani, why only those? Why Nigeria, the sleeping giant, doesn't forget about being the guardian of the West in the region and join the Sahel and organize themselves and said, come Ghana, let's consolidate ourselves and control our sovereignty and control our resources.
That would be the best solution.
Too many foreign investments.
I don't think the Nigerian listeners would like that.
No, I mean,
calling Nigeria the sleeping giants.
I think those.
But Nigeria, the fact that they're a sleeping giant means that they've got the power to transform the continent and show their leadership on the continent.
According to Nigeria, they are the giant of Africa.
I think that is coming. That will come because it's a domino thing is coming right now. Because I look to Ivory Coast to fall soon. Maybe Ghana will join voluntarily. Togo and Benin, I know they will join in. I mean, if we can get these countries to just join into this military alliance,
Yes,
I
man.
think that's key. And then we can
So that means there would have to be a lot of coup d'etat.
yes,
But the government and the leadership as it stands today,
Yeah.
with their education that they've got, why can't they see what the ordinary people is seeing in these solidarity that is forming within the region? The Sahel state have just formed a central bank
but the young people
among themselves.
The young people see it, you know. The young people are ripe for it. So I think that it is coming. I think that we prefer it to be done more peacefully, where a peaceful acceptance and a peaceful merging and integration is better than a war, or even if you have to, even coup. But the younger people who's coming up, they see it clear. They're wondering what is the same way we asking the question. It's so clear to us.
I was just about to say that, brother Delane, because I say if we are here and we are looking at it, and we say, and we seeing it, we say with coming together would be, you're gonna be much stronger. You're gonna be able to fight these insurgents much better. You're gonna get a much more intelligence.
Thank you.
What is stopping it? Like what is the problem?
Ideology and ego.
External influence.
Yeah.
And get rid of the colonial past and the colonial legacy.
Look at something like you look at Europe, right? And Europeans can travel all across Europe as they feel like. They drive all across Europe. And Europe is so prosperous. But in Africa,
and nobody never used to war like them, brother.
Right,
remember, say the biggest war them in the world of them fight them World War I and World War II, you know.
It seems like in Africa
still work together on things that them see eye to eye and that to their benefit.
It seems like in Africa, all the countries in Africa is saying that I am the top country, or I am the number one, and I have to keep all these other Africans from coming to my country because they're gonna take away my whatever. You know what I mean?
But now, in credit, now there is a movement taking place. The African Continental Free Trade Area is something that is opening up. There is a payment system that they have set up. The Pan-African Payment and Settlement System is being implemented, where transaction can be settled in Africa.
You know, local currencies.
You don't have to send your transaction to European settlement system to settle it in your own country.
Right.
It's now, there's an integration. I think 19 countries are now a part of this.
Yes,
Brother Dulani, they will need to do that for telecommunications as well.
Exactly. So a satellite system need to be put in place.
A work in progress.
There's a lot of things, and also let's not forget the transcontinental trade line that need to be built. There will be a potential of trillions of dollars in value to be created by creating this continental
line.
Well, I think they like is because you have a lot of countries in Africa where the terrain isn't so suitable for like trade as well. So even coupling that with air trade as well, like having a lot of cargo planes using that, because some of them are really
regional hubs and so forth like that.
And that's technology you want to still know, because
technology,
you know what I mean? Tunnels and bridges can be needed. So anyway, it look like the train can go there. No, with the technology we have, no, China do it.
Exactly.
Go destroy a lot of the infrastructure and all of it.
If a trade you want, you know, that will come with it too.
Right.
It can be done sustainably, you know. It can be done in complementary to the environment.
Right.
Of course.
As long as that's a consideration.
More sophisticated.
As long as that's a consideration.
But it's not a one approach. It can be multiple approach, like you said. It can be trained.
We have a think tank. We have a think tank where we can look at what the best outcome is and what the best way is.
No, the ideal thing now is for the AU to get this act together. If the AU get this act together, there's no need for these conflict, these regional conflict. Because if we join under one military, one supreme command, and everybody contribute maybe 20,000 troops or 50,000 troops to this military command, and resources and equipment and technology, there's nothing we can do.
Can't fix any problem.
Sometimes I wonder, sometimes me I look at it and me wonder, me I try to come up with something, some significant thing that the AU has done. You know what I mean? The AU seems like a little thing where them just go sit down and go and talk with them friends, you know. And
Is that like a getaway? Is that like a retreat?
Yeah.
Is that like a retreat?
No, for the sake of accuracy,
They have done.
let me say that they have created the African continental free trade area.
Trade. Yeah.
That has been there. That's a production or it come out. It came out of their institution, and also the Pan-African payment and settlement system that is a part of their initiative as well. So we have to give them credit for that. At the very minimum, that's what they have done.
Right. But what they're saying is that they should be doing a lot more.
That's more.
These are big things still in them. These are big things still in them.
But ending conflict, I think boots on the ground, ending conflicts. These are some of the things that people want to see. You know, and Africans will not be opposed to that.
When it comes to conflict,
yes, resolution
between either insurgents or between countries.
Yes.
The AU need to be more, you know what I mean?
Active.
No bone, no teeth. No teeth.
No teeth, man. Like you hear from China or Sri Lanka or some far country before you hear from the AU.
AU, yes. They have not been vocal. They have not been prominent. They have not been taking advantage. Even in the propaganda sphere, they have not effectively positioned themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Need to visit the dentist, man.
Exactly.
Get some implants.
Implants.
You can't get implants.
I'm not gonna bite, man.
There is an implant.
But again, in defense to the AU, after 60 years of implementation, I would say that they have been working. It's just been working slowly and limitedly, meaning they need more resources too, right? Because we could see the influence on what they did, like with the free trade. But even in Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique, all these places, remember, they played big parts, right? When they're in financial support of these groups, South Africa, Namibia. I think too, we have to remember too, a lot of these places, especially, wait a minute, a lot of these places, when we look at these organizations too, they're underfunded too, you know. When we talk about funding is very important, you know. The resources is very important, you know, for them to function correctly as well.
True.
So that's part of the thing that really holds these organizations back too, you know. And of course, the outside politics, right? But they have done some stuff, man, that's noteworthy. Yeah, you can read the noteworthy stuff that they have done in 60 years.
We have two viewers at the moment on YouTube who follow the thread, and one are coming to the thread. We have to share a link in a YouTube so them can join the live. You have to use the link that we're gonna share to join the live. And another user said that the AU are funded by the EU. They are limited what they can do. So that's one of the things that we have to address. And the African countries are not paying enough for their yearly upkeep and maintenance of the AU. So because they are being funded by outside organizations, this has affected their judgment and decision that they make in line for the continent. And that is a part of the problem with ECOWAS as well.
Now, before we move on from the AU, I want to mention that the AU have a young people initiative called Borderless Africa. And it is run by mostly young people who dream of a vision for a borderless Africa. be able to travel. And what they do, they come together to discuss the difficulty they're having traveling to different countries, particularly with immigration. And they're advocating for a continental passport to stop the harassment and the exploitation of African traveling through borders. Need to be addressed.
You share a link, Okavango?
Yeah.
All right.
And they're advocating for a continent.
Yes, sir.
There's a delay going on there somewhere, isn't it?
No, it's
Yeah.
not a delay. It's, I just pull up the live. So that's
Oh,
what
okay,
that
okay,
was.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so these are some of the initiatives that I see that the AU is doing, but on a practical underground thing, we don't really see much progress. You know what I mean? But as we said, the challenges are many. The challenges in
Yeah,
terms
I
of
think the progress is there, it's just slow. And sometimes think about it, sometimes we want to
eager.
rectify a situation that's been happening for 300 years in 2 days.
Yes, that's
Right.
correct.
So we got to put it in context too, as
True.
well as the length
That's
of time these organizations been formed,
Bingy.
their development within a system
That
that
is
has
not an excuse,
existed.
Bingy.
It's not an excuse, it's a reality. We're not
All
talking
right.
about
But
excuses, we're talking
if
about
we
what
can
is
see it
actually
happen,
happening. It's
if
not
we see
excuse.
it happening in the Sahel states,
Yeah.
it can happen in other countries as well. They
Yeah.
just need to have a Pan-African view where they look at it from the perspective of developing the continent for the benefit of the people of the continent and not for the benefit of anyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we say the Sahel state, and the Sahel state is perfect for the rapid movement towards progress, but it's still slow development. So
It's
even though you
always
see
slow.
this rapid movement towards implementing, for example, their own central bank, stuff like that, or economic development, the progress itself, when we look at it on a scale, it's still going to be slow. The development is going to be
Yes.
slow
That's
because of
accurate.
the length of time of underdevelopment. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes we have to put it in perspective what is really happening.
No, so it's
Timeline.
taking too long for Nigeria and Ghana.
No, I mean, but I think Bing is making a good point because we have often been criticized across the Caribbean and Africa for how come it's been 60 years and what have you.
Yeah.
But if you put it in perspective, if you look at America when America was 60 years and where they were, if you look at Europe when they were 60 years, or Britain when they were
Yes.
60 years old, or France, is nowhere compared to where these African and Caribbean countries are at 60 years
At
old.
60, yeah. And
So
not only that, when you go on the ground,
I have to put it in perspective.
yeah,
Let's
that is
put it
key,
in perspective since we're putting it in perspective. Countries in the Middle East, like the UAE, is 54 years old.
I agree.
And we've seen where they control their resources and they've used it to develop their country. Saudi Arabia is on a massive, rapid drive to diversify its economy from the oil. And they are controlling their resources and the development is moving at a rapid pace. They are younger than a lot of our nations that got independence.
True.
Yeah, but we've never had the support that they've had. Whether you
Not,
talk about
not
you,
just
think
the
about
support
this.
either.
Think about
Not
this.
just the support either, Bingy.
Africans in the West, for example, were enslaved people. When they got freedom, so-called freedom, Europeans were coming into this land and getting land grants or given land freely by the government. These so-called free people, they were given nothing, even though they've been here. So they've always, when you look at Africa, it's the same thing. The colonizers never gave them anything to start with or to help them develop
Right.
in that manner.
Right.
Everywhere else you talk about Saudi
Bingy.
Arabia, they've always had that
Dada,
help.
hold on,
They've always had
No,
that
they had to
financial
fight for it,
support.
brother. They had to fight for it.
What I'm gonna
And
say
they
is
are.
this.
Hold on, hold on,
That's
hold
what
on,
we're
hold on.
saying. We have to put it in
Hold on.
perspective. They are.
Ask the viewers to use the Riverside, the link to download the Riverside app. And if you want to join, you can join with the link.
Yeah,
I dropped the link in the
But you
the
cannot
comments.
join directly to YouTube. You have to
Absolutely.
come into the virtual studio.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I
Question.
think that discussion, you said that discussion about comparative development, I think
No.
we need to have a separate
Yeah.
show
Reasoning
for
on
that.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's not,
That's an
Yeah,
it's
but
not
extension.
fair
I
field
would
to
love to
compare African
what I want
development
to
to
say as well,
anybody else's. It's
what I
not.
want to say as well is this: that these people have traditionally had control of their resources from day one,
Mhm.
and
I
and
was
their
yes.
resources are valuable in terms of their high value. One of
Mhm.
their major resources is oil, and this is one of the
Well,
most
yeah,
valuable
The demand
resources
is there.
in the world,
the
Yes.
demand.
right? And they had control of it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? African people, as a result of the transatlantic slave trade, have lost control of their resources and are fighting even to this day to try and gain some semblance of
Mhm.
control of these resources. So
There's no
until we
comparison.
can have control of these resources, we cannot see the type of development that we would love to see.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
we want to see, however, is an indication of a move in that direction. That's what we want to see. We want to see our leaders showing that, listen, this is the direction we're moving towards. Whether it's a step, whether it's a creep, whatever it is, but we want to see a move in that direction. And for too long, we have not seen moves in that direction.
And to add to that, my brother, what they have done with after enslavement, they locked in colonialism, which locked in so-called private property.
Mm-hmm.
And when they locked in private property and constitutionally grantee ownership in the hands of those who enslaved our ancestors.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
Unfair tactics, brother Dulani.
up to today, we have millions of African people and African people in the Caribbean as well who are landless, who never own an acre of land from them
Mhm.
born till now.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
True.
Because those lands was deemed private property and held in the ownership of those colonial powers to this
Mhm.
very day. And if we want it, we have to buy it from them.
Mhm.
But and another thing as well, that we can overlook damage done to our psychology, our identity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
The fact that we was prevented from educating our people for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
After enslavement, it's only like a tiny percent, maybe about 3 to 5% of our people were literate.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But
Yaga.
Brother Dulani,
Yaga.
Completely
Brother Dulani,
Yaga.
yes, sir.
so you want to tell me these leaders in the Caribbean and in Africa, they don't have any education?
They
Yes,
have
but they're
Western
tiny.
They
You
do.
need
education.
the
They have
population to be
Western
educated.
education.
You need the population to be educated.
Mhm.
But
You
even
understand?
if they are Western educated, so a lot of the
There was
educational
colonial,
values that they
they had
cultivate,
colonial
a
education.
lot of the educational values that they cultivate are
They were
geared towards
implementing,
facilitating the agenda of the West.
Their needs.
they
Yeah.
were maintaining
Yeah.
the order,
Yeah.
maintaining the system of exploitation.
Mm.
So there's a lot of comparison that we can go into to look at the similarities and look at the differences
True.
and see where we can find common ground, because that is I've heard that criticism a lot.
No, true.
No,
That
you can't.
comparison.
It's
Make a note of that, Dada, make a note of that, because that is supposed to be a separate reasoning.
That's
No,
right.
there's a viewer on YouTube,
I
and
was
big up the
gonna do
viewers them wherever you're viewing from. Just drop a message and let us know where you're viewing from. They said
And
that
share the stream, like and share the stream, please, and thanks.
yeah, man. They said that they need to see more trade between the African countries and the Caribbean countries in the South, because the trade that is taking place among African countries is really a small amount of trade, and that needs rapid improvement so that we can keep the resources and the value added that we're going to add to the resources within our region. And these are the things that will grow the economy. These are the things that will see us offering an education that is of African origin, where we can see the youth taking on their cultures and being respectful to their cultures and practicing that was passed down from many centuries and years ago.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I.
Mhm.
That man
Absolutely
is a
agreed.
great energy, man. Is a
Yaga.
great energy.
Them say them can't join.
No, this is just one person. But the other person I was asking to join, they haven't made any efforts, but it's fine. But we see a lot of people. The person's African goddess, and she's from Nigeria. And it's good that she's from Nigeria as well, because she can even give
Even from
a more.
Nigeria, it's
Yeah, she says she's from Nigeria. But what I'm saying is this, right? This is what I'm saying. Because we still don't want to stray the reason from what we're talking about, which is we're
And
talking
work.
about this activity that has taken place this week with the US
Mhm.
launching an airstrike against Nigeria. I do not agree with any sovereign country carrying out an airstrike against any sovereign country with or without the permission of that country. You understand? I don't agree with that. I believe that, as was indicated earlier, an agreement should have made with the leadership of Nigeria that the
Equipment.
equipment or necessary technology should have been transferred to them, and they carry out that
that strike.
that action, right?
Yes, I.
And that is again at a last resort
Resort.
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
level, because that government should already have an awareness, a cultural awareness of what the issues are with this, and be trying to see how they can best appease or deal with these situations before it even reach airstrike. You understand what I'm saying? It
I
can't be
even
that.
question
Mm.
the
It,
idea that
mm.
they providing, what you call it, logistics and
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Logistics.
Intelligence.
where they got the eyes in the sky that can see almost anything on the ground, a pin on the ground, they can see it.
But
And you need,
the strike seemed like it didn't hit anything. So
yeah, you can
guys,
read a newspaper from space with the technology them have.
mm-hmm,
You can have
Right.
a book in your hand and you can read the book in your hand.
mm-hmm.
So me not understand that.
Yeah. So
But that's
we're
why the strike was symbolic too, right? Because we question the logistics as well.
mm-hmm.
Because if you're bombing a place where no known ISIL
Threat
organization
exists.
is, then we also question the logistics. That's why
Intelligence.
we know that the
It's so
True.
strike itself is
And
symbolic.
symbolic. So
and
like
the
it's
next
more
thing you know, I
symbolic.
want to add,
Mm-hmm.
with the date of the strike being symbolic, because
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about the Fulanis and them pushing this, Muslim ideology in the region,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
coming in. But the date is also symbolic because
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
these Christians pushing for this Christian
Mhm.
versus Muslim
Muslim
conflict,
war.
right? So be giving it's like giving the Christians a Christmas gift.
Gift.
Mm.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what
It's
I
Right.
mean?
also
And
sending
the
a
so-called
signal,
day that the Savior was born.
but it's
Mm.
also sending a signal across Africa that we can
Mhm.
reach you, we can touch you as well.
Of
Mm-hmm.
course. Of
So
course.
if you get out of hand, we
Mm-hmm.
can strike you as well. And with the
Right.
kind of
Well, the statement,
Because
Brother
hey,
Lulani, is more to come.
yeah,
More
the
to
more
come.
the
Remember, the
red
statement is
tape from
more to
Washington
come.
will
We wanna big
definitely
up.
encourage that.
We wanna big up One Flex FPP out of Florida. We wanna big up African Goddess
what a
Yes,
Nigeria.
Kim.
C6D out of Nigeria. We wanna big up Mr. Money Comes First as well.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah,
to name a
man.
few of the subscribers
Follow
that's
the money.
logged in.
Give
Yes, sir.
thanks. Give
Mm-hmm.
thanks. So
Mhm.
like the live, share the live with like-minded people, you know what I mean? Talking
Mhm.
about what's going on now in Africa. You know what I
Right.
mean? And one of
Mhm.
those things is the
Mm-hmm.
strike, the US strike against Nigeria. You know what I mean? That's
Yes.
one of the topics. So
Mm-hmm. Yes,
are we
sir.
gonna take another topic? I just one topic today.
I mean,
Uh,
did we exhaust the solution in terms of what we think is the best solution? I mean, we should go around and offer a solution. Everyone should just offer a
Well, I think
solution.
some of the solutions that came up was to form an alliance with the all these countries in this area, formulating an alliance, not only on a political aspect but also a military aspect, where we can see implementation of safe zones and safe areas for the citizenry of these countries, against these insurgents, banditry, um, jihadists, whatever the threat may
yeah.
be at the moment, that they're able to deal with those threats. That's one of the major things. And one of the primary things that we were looking at as well is that we're saying that we have to come to the root cause of these issues and see how best we can address them. Because as long as people feel unjustified, then this can result in conflict as long as people feel unjustified. So whatever is happening, because each side has claims to their issues, they have claims to it. The Fulani people, they have a claim because they have been doing this for centuries. They've been doing it for as long as time
On the land for
exists.
centuries.
Right.
No
And
one
they've
said
been
doing
doing
this.
they've been doing their lifestyle for this time as long
Lifestyle,
as
right.
they've been there. Right? So they've been doing this. So now for people to establish these boundaries, these lines, and say, okay, no, you cannot do that, then obviously they're going to take issue with that.
Or
So
be some
unless
kind of
we can
conflict.
really come to a clarity on how are we going to go forward, as you said, to establish safe spaces for them to practice their thing. So that means if you're a farmer, then you know that in that area you can't do your farming in that area, because in that area these people are going to be using it for their cattle, and then they can establish their thing.
And that we don't want to oversimplify these things, you know,
No,
because
we can't
we don't want to do that.
oversimplify.
Like I said, just let them, because
Yeah,
we're talking about land that people
People
have
want and
purchased.
own.
People have purchased. People
Right.
have no
business.
their lifestyle depend on these
Mhm.
areas now. You know what I
Right.
mean? And this stretch across a massive range. Like it's not
Mhm.
like a little a acre of land. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
hundreds of thousands of acre of land. It go
Mhm.
across. So you know what I mean, and millions of people. So we don't want to oversimplify. Like, just let them pass through
Yeah,
our thing
and
like that. You know what I mean?
it makes
So
greater case. They want sovereignty. They want to establish their own country that could
But they
lead
should
that.
have that. They should have that, Brother
Mhm.
Delani.
but well, from
They
before the
should
lines
have
was
that.
drawn, but no, I was it's a big thing. No,
It-
who's gonna
it-
give them say, okay, have this land, Fulani, this is now your country? Who's gonna do that? Because remember, I know,
So this is the point that we're saying now, right?
yeah,
And this come even from a reasoning we were speaking about even the Maroons, where we're
yeah.
saying these people that have been living this lifestyle, why is it an issue now for us to recognize their sovereignty as a people? Because they don't have a landmass to say this is their landmass, then they don't
Yeah,
have any
But
sovereignty.
if you give them the
right.
landmass, they may want to assert that right, assert their sovereignty.
But there's nothing wrong with them
independence.
asserting it. The reason why there's a conflict is because they're not able to assert their sovereignty. Their
But that
sovereignty that they
I'm
want to
just
assert.
saying is not a simple thing.
Right, we
Because
agree with
you
it.
need,
We agree.
I don't know how much, I can't tell out of my top of my head how much country the Sahel run through and how much country they pass through
Mhm.
to
Right.
nomadic lifestyle. But I know it's a lot of country.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And you're
Right,
asking
right.
all these countries to give up land
Mhm.
or give up space, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Resources.
Right,
I
So
think,
right.
it's
I think
not a simple
sometimes
thing.
we may also have to think about, is there a separation, is there a distinction between the Fulani and these so-called ISIS forces?
Mhm.
Is there a way we can separate those forces and eliminate one and allow one to continue to flourish?
Mhm.
You know, so
Yeah,
that's a
man.
part of the complexity. That's a part of the
And
Our viewer from Nigeria has written, her comment is, the Fulani people should be provided with areas across West Africa where they can roam with their herds, but at the same time they cannot trample other people's lands.
That's
So
correct.
we appreciate
Yeah,
your contribution there.
that's a
right.
solution.
And that's what we are saying. So you
Mhm.
need to define where is their land and where's the land that they shouldn't
Mhm.
trample over.
Right.
Because that's where you get blurry, you know.
Mhm.
Yes.
It get
What are
blurry
the people
because
of Nigeria saying about the strike? What are the people of Nigeria saying about the strike?
we can
They-
And
they-
there are different
African
views.
goddess that because
There
she
are
from
different
Nigeria.
views. There are different views. There are different views. As it relates to it. Some people are in favor of it, which we
Mhm.
understand. Some people are opposed to it. Some people are saying it was in the wrong areas. Some people are saying there are different views that I've read from the reports that
Yeah.
I'm checking out
The
in
Fulani,
it. So
In terms
there's
of
a
if they
mix.
welcome the strike, that's what I was really referring to.
Ask
Okay.
the question, Yaga. Ask the question.
Most of the commentary I've seen suggests that they welcome the strike.
Mhm.
Most people welcome the strike, and I've heard the detractors who saying, wrong area, nothing was hit, and all that. And I think it's important that they go in and show what was hit as well.
So when you say
And
most people, you're talking about most people within a certain
Social
region
within
or
the reports,
demographic.
Social media.
Yeah,
within the reports.
Hey,
yeah, within the report.
on the mainstream media, most of the interviews, was conducted with people that was in favor,
Mm.
you know.
Well,
And
what
it
I'm
was,
thankful for as well is that I've heard of no civilian casualties
Deaths.
from this
Yeah.
airstrike, strike, and I'm very
mhm,
happy for that.
yes,
Because a lot of times when we see these things happening, a lot of people who
innocent people. Mhm,
are made victims of it. You
right.
understand? And I'm very happy
But
that none
we
of that
haven't
happened.
seen any. We haven't seen any triage of the area. We haven't seen any autopsy report of the area. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Hmm.
hard to even determine what was the extent of the damage.
True.
Me could big up the African goddess. The African goddess is saying that they want to bring Sharia
Sharia, yeah.
across West Africa and
Unac- Unacceptable.
restore the Sokoto
So they
Caliphate.
Sokoto Caliphate.
Sokoto Caliphate. What's that?
Yeah.
Unacceptable. Caliphate is
So
a
it's basically a caliphate. It's basically like ISIS.
It's
Them have an
Muslim.
Yeah, but what's this?
ideology.
So she's specific. Sokoto Caliphate. What's that one?
That means it's probably one of them Islamic state within
It is.
Sokoto, the area in which the bomb was dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Okay, I'm not familiar with Sokoto, but
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. With that.
but Caliphate.
Yeah, that is the area in which the strike
It's
took
an
place.
area.
Happened, right.
Well, the
In the
Caliphate.
north, in the north of Nigeria.
Hmm.
Well, the Caliphate is actually an Islamic government.
Yes.
Also, she's saying that the Christians are celebrating, but it's because of lack of understanding of what is really going on.
Of course. Of course.
Right.
But I mean, if you're celebrating, most likely the Christians celebrating, and that's what I've heard. Because the Christians were calling for
Airstrike.
American intervention.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The report on people who saying, hey, they welcome it, who's that really
Yes.
coming from?
Right. Because I haven't heard many of the opposing views, to be honest with you. I've not seen many.
So a caliphate is a form of Islamic state or government
State.
led by a caliph
Mhm.
Mhm.
who is considered the religious and political successor to the Prophet Muhammad and the leader of the entire Muslim community, the
Mhm.
Ummah.
Yeah, but
Right? Right.
Sokoto
So
is the
that's
problem.
what a
Sokoto.
caliphate is. So the Sokoto is the area in Nigeria that the bomb happened.
Oh,
Right.
okay,
So they
okay,
want to
okay.
establish that
Yeah.
in Sokoto, where they have an Islamic state governed by a caliph, and that's what they want.
Because there's a
But
belief.
again, that area already is
It's
predominantly
The
Muslim.
Islamic. The problem
Islamic,
is
okay.
not that. The problem is extreme Islam. That's the problem, right?
Mhm.
The
That's
problem
what the
here is not
caliphate
it
does
being
bring it.
Islamic,
We
but
cannot
being
accept caliphate.
extreme.
We cannot accept a caliphate in Africa. We cannot. Simple as that. I'm saying that we cannot accept them to establish no caliphate. But there is a belief.
Why not? Why
But
not,
but
Brother
wait,
Delani?
but wait.
Why not, Brother
Why
Boko
not, Brother
Delani?
Boko Haram technically is a caliphate because
Exactly.
Boko
Yeah.
Haram control
Yeah.
territories and collect taxes. So Boko Haram in northeast or northwest Nigeria is a caliphate.
Yeah,
There
they
is
are
a
in the northeast. Sokoto is
So they are a caliphate.
in the northeast and they are in the
Yes,
northwest.
yes, and
Hey,
they collect taxes. They about
question from African Goddess again, because she's very in tune to the discussion,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, right.
She says, ask yourselves why the mines are not attacked by terrorists. Ask yourselves why mining continues. So these jihadists
It's a
that
good
are in
question.
these areas, they're saying
Follow the
they're
money.
not attacking.
Follow the money.
They're not attacking the mines. They're
Oh,
not
man, that's
attacking
somebody.
the mines. But because mining is continuing in these areas.
So they are offering security basically.
there's a belief, that in West Africa, there's actually a descendants of Muhammad that fled to West Africa under
Okay.
some kind of I think the grandson of Muhammad, one of his descendants fled to West Africa. So they want to set up a caliphate based on this linkage that from Muhammad that fled into West Africa, but it's still mostly legend.
Next comment. Most Christians, again from Africa, most Christians live in the south and have never been to the north.
right.
And Stepmaster 9988 says No, the people are Islamic and have traditional rulers, but Sokoto State is part of the federal government of Nigeria, which is a secular government, so it's not a religious government. So I guess that's what the problem is.
Right.
You know what I think the problem is? I think the problem is because they take on this Christianity in the south and Islam in the north.
Mm-hmm.
That is what the problem is. Where is their African identity? Where is their African
And
tradition?
that is
Where
the,
their
that,
where,
that is the big
It
problem.
was lost
Hey,
to
listen.
colonialism.
Listen, I what can't do me if you understand here. The Sokoto Caliphate is
Mhm.
claiming descendants from Islam, from
Right.
from Prophet Muhammad. They
Right.
say here that the founder of the Sokoto Caliphate in modern day Nigeria and Cameroon in the early 19th century, his family claimed Arab ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
right?
His mother, Hawa, was believed to be a direct descendant of the Prophet through Idris the First,
Mm-hmm.
the Emir of Morocco. The current descendants of his son, Mohammed Bello, and his great-grandson, Amadou Bello, continue this lineage claim. So they're claiming
Mm-hmm.
to be direct descendants of Prophet Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they need a caliphate.
Mm-hmm.
All
But
right.
that is
If you remember when I said when they talk about the leadership is Islam, is Muslim, and I said that is a different conversation because that is a different history of how all of that became in Nigeria. Now, because at one point, the name of the guy that you mentioned travel and pilgrimage to Mecca. Seeing
that was
and
my
when him
answer.
travel around the so him start get a lot of strength, him start get a lot of support. So when him go back around as one of the main Islamic scholar in the region in Nigeria, him start to push this ideology. So you find out that out of that you even have leadership, you even have the leadership start coming out of the Islam because they start supporting politics as well. So it's really a complex issue where we have to deal with on its own because Africa no have no Arab ancestry.
It's
Listen,
false.
listen.
They,
Yeah, see, all this war go on, we are talking about Christians and we are talking about
Colonialism.
Muslim, and none of them have nothing to do with Africa.
With Africa.
Africa need to return to their
Ancestry.
their
African ancestry.
ancestry, their gods are their type of
This-
worship.
Spirituality,
Because these
customs, and
outside
our
religious
practices.
these outside religious bringing this baggage of war and endless war. You know what I mean? We taking on
But
these religious, all this outside foreign religions, naming you see African people name Mohammed this, and then and Christopher this. Sorry, Christopher. But you know what I mean? These
Yeah.
Christian
yeah,
names and
that
these
needs to come
Muslim
out of the
names.
Christmas too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now, Okogwango,
It's a problem. man.
it's kind of we can't really say now at this point in history how that's gonna go as far as rejecting these things, right? Because remember, again, in perspective, you're talking about Islam in Nigeria since the 9th century.
All right. So there's
So
a
you're talking about the
question.
9th century till now,
Right.
people in Northeast and Northwest
Mhm.
Nigeria been practicing Islam and
Question.
African
Bingi.
people too.
Question.
It's not that simple.
Question. Both religions, are they foreign? Bingi.
That would be my question.
Bingi.
Are they what?
Bingi. Are they foreign?
Yes.
Yes. Okavango.
Yes.
Both of them is foreign, of course.
Yes.
Yaga.
So what may I say? Why them reject them African identity then and take on all of these foreign
There's a question,
religion?
Yaga. There's
Yes,
a
it
question.
Let me
is.
just
It
answer
is
the
foreign.
question that
How?
me say
What's
why
the
them
answer?
reject them African identity and take on Western religion?
Brother Delani, are they foreign?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, One Flex responds in the
Even
comments and
though
says,
we don't
"Hell
talk
no."
absolute.
One Flex responds in the comments and says, "Hell no." So I would like, if that is what he's responding to, whether or not they are foreign, for him to explain to us
They are not
what
foreign.
what his response actually means. Are you saying hell no, they're not African, or hell no,
That's
they're
what he.
not foreign?
That's what it means.
I want to
Right.
clarify that. So if you can just clarify for us quickly, One Flex, we'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Mhm. I think that's what he means. That
Yeah.
they're not. Hell no, they're
They're
not.
They're
not
not
foreign.
foreign.
They're not African. Yeah, it
Mhm.
seems like it says it was beaten into them.
They
It
are
was
not
instilled.
Yes.
So they're
Oh,
not
okay,
Okay.
okay.
African. Okay, so I think we're
It
all
was,
on the same
it
page.
was
They're
imposed.
not
Good.
African.
I
Yeah.
think yes. So I
Mhm.
think
They're
that
not.
that's important for us to understand that they are not African. They are
Imposition.
foreign ideologies. They're foreign ideologies that have been imposed on us through colonialism, firstly
Mhm.
by the Arabs, then by the Europeans.
Europeans.
They imposed these ideologies on us, and up till today,
We
up to
continue.
date, we are still bearing the brunt of this
Mhm.
indoctrination.
Yes,
So
I.
until we are able to separate ourselves from those things and ideologies, we will not be able to move forward because they're conflicting ideologies.
Yo,
That's
And
correct.
when
and
the
it's not.
Europeans meet and they drew the line, they drew it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So can't our African leaders just go and erase those little lines on the paper and remove those little lines and bring
Good
back
question.
families
Good
together that
question.
are on
Good
opposing sides
question.
of
Good
the
question.
lines?
Good question.
That's what the
Good
borderless
question.
Africa movement is
Good
trying to
question.
do.
Good question. Good.
Yeah, man.
I
We
mean,
need we,
And
we need a
those
borderless
papers
Africa
too.
where everybody where respect
Anyone
is
can try. And those
respect is is widespread. You have respect
mm,
for all the groups because
Goods
look,
and people
we are
can
talking
move freely
we are
across the
talking about
borders.
mhm,
Nigeria. Nigeria is such a diverse place. I think
so many
200 and
ethnic
something
groups.
languages. I can't remember the exact amount.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's a
man.
diverse place, and some of these lines cut
Mm,
off people. So people like what they call them Osa
mm,
people. Some are in
mhm,
Ghana, some are in
mhm,
Nigeria. They are cut off from each other. They say your family over one side
mm.
on a border. You have to have a passport to go visit
Yeah.
your family. You
In
know what I
Right.
mean?
Because
response to
the OC
Yaga,
is
in
also
response to
nomadic, you know.
Yaga statement, and some of those people that they drew the lines and the ink must have faded by now.
To
So we
back.
can just cast the line them fade
Mhm.
out.
So
Question to Stepmaster 9988. His comment is that we have bigger problems. So I would like him to identify what one or two of the bigger problems that we have. What do you see as
Yeah, man.
bigger
Let's talk about it. Let's
problems?
talk about it.
Mm.
mhm.
What are the bigger
Like
problems
and
that
share
you
the
see?
live, viewer. Like and
Mm.
share the live.
Yeah. Yeah, Brother Delan, you were saying something. Go ahead.
No, I don't remember what we was talking about again.
I had said that the lines had faded out now, how long these
No,
things were
I mean,
drawn.
there is a borderless Africa movement
Mm-hmm.
definitely going on. It's mostly driven by young people who are, especially travelers, young Africans who are traveling across Africa. They have come together under some type of group, and they're talking about the difficulty they have had. And some of them have been able to document the difficulties with border patrol in Africa,
We
and
have a
trying to get the people them to lower these barriers.
Mm. Remove
And
them.
Dada.
the abuse that the people are getting at the
Really
Yes.
border.
comment, Dada. Really comment.
Yes. Stepmaster 9988 says, why are you people speaking English and not Swahili? This is not empathetic and is very anti-intellectual. We need African solidarity, not criticisms of people of how people have had to survive. I don't think that what we're saying is a criticism of how our African brothers and sisters are surviving. What I think it's a criticism of the direction in which our African leaders, and I want you to note that I've said our African leaders have decided to take in us as a people, and that's what the criticism is. And we speak English again because of colonialism and imperialism. We speak that because this is where we were taken through the transatlantic slave trade, and we welcome the opportunity to learn these languages and to communicate with our brothers and sisters
Abarigani. Abarigani. That
Ujima.
is a piece of me that is missing, that I don't speak a language in which I can communicate with my people
Yes,
and the
I.
continent. And for the viewers, if they don't know, we're all for Africa on here. We are all in favor of Africa development and African growth. And we feel strongly about these things not having our mother tongue.
Yeah, man.
You know?
It's a Pan-African
So-
channel. It's a Pan-African channel. It's an all-African channel. We talk about African things. We are the reason why we are speaking English is because we are victims of, colonialism. So everybody here speaking English, we are victims of we end up in colonial countries where we are not on the continent. So we are not streaming from the continent at the moment.
I would like to add to that by saying that we're all damaged. On the continent, in the diaspora, we all are trying to emerge from the damage of imperialism, from enslavement, imperialism, and colonialism. Our mother tongue has been cut out of our mouth for centuries now. For hundreds of years, we have been disconnected from our African languages and African roots. What we have now is a colonial mind that we're trying to cleanse. We're trying to emancipate ourselves from this mental enslavement that we're under. And we're asking pertinent questions, and we have to communicate in the language that we know. Many of us, English is the only language we have been exposed to.
Yes,
We
sir.
are born into an environment where the language was already set, the curriculum was already set, the infrastructure was already in
Just
place.
like on the continent.
Just like on the
Exactly.
continent. So what
Um,
we have to do now is liberate ourselves. We are advocating for African language to be spoken. If we are in control of any government or administration, we would be able to implement African languages. And
being
then
taught.
it's still a contentious because there are so many languages in Africa.
Which one?
Even,
Which one?
even though there's a call for Swahili to be the predominant language, there's still many languages that want to be
Personally, I think the continent can look at like 3 languages that he's speaking widely and say, okay, these are the 3
Common
languages
language,
that
and everybody should be able to speak these
because
I know what to say
Swahili,
hello
a
in
lot of people
3.
speak Swahili, a lot of people speak Hausa, and I think Arabic is one of the big languages. Communicate, even though it's maybe people say it's foreign, but it is widely speaking. It's a widely spoken
Especially
language.
in the north.
It's foreign, but it's a widely spoken language in Africa.
Yeah, because of the Arab influence.
and so is so is English.
Pretty. There seems to be a miscommunication, and this is one of the reasons too why we are against the speaking of English, because you could say one thing in English because English words have so many meanings, people could misunderstand what's being said. One of the viewers is saying that their impression of the conversation is that we're looking down on our African brothers and sisters.
Oh no.
Far
We in solidarity with our
from that.
we are in solidarity with our African
What
brothers
I would
and
say
sisters.
it's probably the
language
first
may
time the
fail us,
listener is
but-
coming across the channel. But if they look at the content that is on our channel, we are uplifting Africa. We are calling for leaders in Africa to rise up,
To step up, man.
and support the people and liberate the continent. So, we can see how that misconception came about. But we are Pan-Africanists here, and everything that we are doing is in support of raising the consciousness of Black liberation.
I also want to respond to him again, where he's saying that the Sokoto people they experience imperialism and colonialism as well, right? So they're victims as well. And I want to say that we're in 100% agreement of that. We're saying that a lot of these things. Say again?
Okavango did say that earlier.
Yeah. I'm saying that we understand this. What we're saying is that we need to see, right? We need to see that we are moving in a direction where we can move away from the effects of colonialism and imperialism, because we've been under these effects for too long. You're saying that this
and our issue is not with the people. Our issue is not with the people, because
it's a question to
the people are not pulling the strings. They are victims just like us. You see me? So it's those people who are pulling the strings. It's those people who are calling the shots and making alliances and signing deals
Right.
that the people don't benefit from.
He's
And I
saying.
would add before you continue that
Mhm.
we are African people. And
Agreed.
if we put down Africa, we put down
We're putting
ourselves.
ourselves.
We can't denigrate Africa without denigrating ourselves. So we would never come on this platform and denigrate Africa. We're here to uplift and to help liberate our people and ourselves in the process. So
Right.
we are not better than nobody.
But
And
I
he's
want to
saying-
say, right, to flex, right? It's flex. Language, as you say, becomes this barrier, right? And
No,
our bastard
stepmaster.
language that we speak is not serving us in the right interest, it seems, when you listen to us speak. And it's a sad commentary, you know, because in the meantime, while we here defending our African nativity, African people, their well-being, somebody who is speaking a native tongue could actually listen to what we're saying and interpret differently.
Yes.
Language also becomes this barrier in us communicating with our brothers and sisters. So one of the things here, brother, is you now have to bear with us, listen to us, see our actions, and see that we are in a goodwill, good intention for all African people who are actually suffering.
Yes, sir. And
that would be the key.
I want to say as well, where he said this may have been unconscious on our part. So if it comes across that way, fine. But it was not unconscious, because our conscious decision is to stand in favor of Africa, in solidarity with Africa and African people. And we use Africa again because this is a colonial representation of our motherland. But it's not really Africa. But we use it for clarity and for understanding. So it's not, there is no unconscious bias. There is no negative towards our African brothers and sisters. We are saying that these things that are happening need not happen. And our leadership is to stop looking towards the West to solve African problems. African people should solve African problems, should have the sovereignty and solidarity to solve African properties.
I agree, and there shouldn't be no misunderstanding about where we stand. We are Pan-Africanists. You know,
and I want to say something too, right? Sometimes we become petty in our conversations or based on simple things, right? The viewer said that, hey, when you had the hurricane, the Ghanaians asked why you speaking wrong language or wearing Western clothes, right? Before they send engineers to help you get right back. Think about how petty we get to because of these barriers. All Nigerians don't wear traditional Nigerian clothing. Nigerians also wear Western clothing, to put it into context. So sometimes we get carried away.
We even see judge them still wear the wig, them, brother.
Yeah, and these are the things we have to really overcome. You know, we have to overlook these things to work towards a bigger goal, right? Because in reality, what we are talking about is everybody doing the same thing, whether in Nigeria, you're in East Africa, you're in America. Western clothing has nothing to do with anything. Those are what we call real mundane aspects of intellectual conversation.
True.
So, the viewers, Ted Master, I think the viewer Ted Master is engaging in a debate. You know what I mean? Trying to win a debate. But we are trying to find solutions for what is taking place in Africa. So it's kind of, the problem here is because we are going in different paths. We are trying to find solutions. So we are calling out all the problems, stating all the problems, and then trying to find solutions. But Ted Master is trying to win a debate. You know what I mean? So that is where the
confusion is.
Yes, the confusion is. Well, Ted Master, we are not debating here. We're not debating. We're trying to find solutions to fix African problems. We are African people. You know what I mean? We are trying
African issues and African solutions.
problems going on the continent right now. That's the topic right now. Problems going on the continent, and then we're trying to find solutions, see where, you know what I mean, the government can fix things or the people can fix things or what is causing the problem. You know what I mean? So that is the problem. So
Make sure you subscribe, man, and check out the content on the channel, man. But then you'll have a better understanding, you know, of the chat class.
And again, you know, we have to work on common grounds here,
yeah,
right? That's the only way we're gonna get common solutions. And we not fight. We not in a debate.
No.
As Uncle Vango said, we talking about things that are affecting us globally. Because what affects you also affects us.
Right.
Yeah, it's
There
a
are
global issue.
there are other comments going on. People are, you know, we don't want to ignore.
No, we're not.
Yeah, but you cannot pay attention to all of them, said
No,
way, isn't it?
We're not. We're not. We welcome all comments.
Every comment
We
is
welcome all comments.
Keep
Every-
liking and sharing.
Flex FPJV says, you know, in response to the language issue, these are all just barriers causing a lack of communication.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So we give thanks for all of the comments and everything, but I want to address this particularly about Stepmaster, right? Where he says it's not petty. The question is worth about I belong to no religion, but I have empathy for fellow Africans and don't ask foolish questions, right? I believe that if we look at our experience as a people, we will understand that religion is one of the primary causes of many of the problems we face as a people. So if we see another example where religion is creating an issue for African people, and not only just religion, but foreign religions, then we have to speak about it. So it's not about oh, we're just saying, oh, they're responsible for it. No, we're not saying that. We're saying that it's full-time African people step away from these traces of colonialism and establish or re-establish their African identities. That is what we're calling for.
Stepmaster,
Starting with Christmas.
One flex is something I love this comment because I'm always saying this. They keep throwing us off with some small issues.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
we have to
mundane
stick to
stuff.
the main point and use our energy wisely. That's a
Yes,
beautiful
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Real
Oh,
talk.
And that is right.
Okay,
That is right.
I love this comment.
Stepmaster responded, religion didn't create an issue. Imperialists use any social differences to cause division and strife. And religion is one of those social issues that cause
One of the
division
main
and
ones.
strife.
Yeah, one of the main
Because of that, a lot of people are hold on to at this time, the same way, even when them cite new evidence, which is showing them that your practice is not of African origin and your ancestry, because we need to find our culture and our traditions and endorse them basically.
Well, you know, it's a great discussion. It's a great discussion and great reasoning. And it's always good when we can see and hear the views of our supporters as well. What we want to see is open discussion. Is an open discussion where everyone can respectfully bring their views up across, right? Where we can respectfully bring our views across, and we can respect each other's opinions, respect each other's ideas, understand that we're never gonna see entirely eye to eye, but where we can look and say, oh, we can agree on principle. And if we're unable to do that, that's fine too, but we're going to respect your sovereignty as a person, you're going to respect my sovereignty as a person, and we're going to move forward in solidarity. That's where it is. We don't have any issue with critique. If you have a different opinion, you're welcome to your opinion. What we're
And we don't
saying
have
is,
to wait until there's a disaster. I come together. We want to come together in normal times where we can support each other's
Be
community, support
proactive.
each other's
Mhm.
country, support the
Be
language,
proactive.
support the traditions,
Mhm.
support all of the customs,
Mhm.
you know?
But we have to be honest. Honesty have to be a part of this
True.
conversation. You know,
So,
see,
so,
honesty about our
Stepmaster,
history.
Stepmaster, we agree your enthusiasm. We applaud your enthusiasm.
Yes, man, we love it, man.
We
We love it.
love
We
it.
love it.
You understand? But you've made a statement here, which you said we have to understand the problem first. It's not religion, but the imperialists will clutch at any straw. We must start from understanding. So, can you identify to me, Stepmaster, a bigger problem in the African experience than religion?
And religion.
Can I just add a little context to that?
Yes, sir.
Because I also believe that imperialism is the primary factor in all of this. Imperialism, he rightfully state, imperialism will use any factor, any issue
Mm-hmm.
to advance its position, including religion, including economics, including propaganda, use anything to maximize the profit of imperialists. So we're clear on that. But we can't negate the fact that religion is a big part of the equation now, because a lot of things there's a thing taking place in the background. There's a echoing.
Mm-hmm. Somebody
I don't know
playing
if you
something.
hear it.
Would I,
Yeah.
Yaga?
Okay, it's gone now. No, it come back. The
No,
Yaga, in now here way.
I hear, man. I know
Okay.
from my side.
go on, brother. Me not yet still.
Yeah. There's certain thing that's put in place that they become self-perpetual. Like religion is one of those mechanisms. Once you put it in place,
Mhm.
it begins to play a role unto itself that we have to deal with. Religion is in the equation. We can't rule that out. As much as we focus on imperialism, once we dislodge imperialism from Africa and we dislodge capitalism from Africa, we still have to deal with the indoctrination that's left over. There's a feedback in the frequency somewhere down there now. Somebody got that thing open.
Yeah, stop.
Stop now. Yeah, there is no.
No, man, it's still a go
Still
on,
going
man.
on.
Go on.
Feedback.
Yaga, you sure it's not you, Yaga?
No,
So-
I know my side.
Somebody got another window open. That's what the problem is.
Yeah.
So we have to deal with that issue. That indoctrination plays a big role, even in the Western world. The vast majority of enslaved African who was brought to the New World, we are now Christians. We have adopted Christian ideology and Christian religion, and it will be very difficult to move that out of our people. It'll be almost impossible right now to get that out of the system, because you have many different manifestations of this Abrahamic tradition on our people. You know, see, we have seen extreme manifestation of it where African people believe that they are descendants from Isaac and Jacob. You got African people walking around today in the Western world who believe that they came from Baghdad. They came from Ur and Chaldea and migrated into Africa and crossed the Sahara Desert into West Africa, which are almost 4,000 kilometers, which is almost impossible to traverse as a people, and settle West Africa. People believe that because of indoctrination. So I am saying that moving forward, scientific understanding have to be at the forefront of our education system. We need to implement science in
Innovation and technology.
particularly in archaeology as well, anthropology, talking about society and how society developed, genetical information about our history, because we have been in West Africa for tens of thousands of years before the invention of the idea for Abraham.
Right.
Can we be from people when we was in Africa tens of thousands of years? And if we go back into evolution, the whole of humanity began in Africa. And migration began about 75,000 years ago. So there's so much misconception about human development that need to be brought in. Can religion have actually usurped the historical knowledge of our people and distorted our thinking? So now people don't want to confront religion, they want to focus on other things. But if we are going to be about truth and honesty, we have to deal with religion, and the only way we can deal with religion is with science.
Flex says spiritualism is way different from Christianity. We got confused by lowering the sun and replacing it with a figure with long hair. And I would say sun, S-U-N, sun, S-U-N. We didn't learn about the earth and the sky, so we lost it. So that's a very good comment, Flex.
Agreed. Very good analogy of what we've lost. But in the same context, when we say imperialism being the primary factor, imperialism is working through some kind of implementation of something, right?
And
it's not working on its own. Religion is that vehicle, primary vehicle, which it uses for control. And that's part of the problem. But very good understanding of spiritualism moving from S-U-N to S-O-N. To S-O-N, and it's very important. And that's what you understand spirituality. We understand that's completely different than religion. Absolutely. Good point.
Also, to add further, in politics, religion is used to maintain political power.
Yeah, church and state, man.
Church and state.
But even to get the vote, because you know people are Christians and they love Christianity, you would pander to Christians, maintain the ideology, big it up to get them to vote for you to stay in power.
And we see that going on. This airstrike is a part of it too.
Yes, exactly. So to reinforce your position and to make people love you, you just pander to the Christianity, you pander to the Islamic, you pander to whatever the population believe in. You just go along and pander to it, and you get the support.
Stepmaster made a comment earlier as well, where he's saying that we don't have a clear view of everything, and he recommended David Hundian, which is a journalist from Nigeria, right? He publicizes a weekly tabloid paper called West Africa Weekly, right? So I went on the website for his thing, West Africa Weekly, and he has in big bold headlines, the Nigerian airstrike, right? The American airstrike in Nigeria wasn't just about terrorism. It exposed that Nigeria is no longer a sovereign nation. And I think that this is in line with the discussion that we've been having, what we've been saying.
Very
so I believe that we are aligned in our views on this situation as well. So, you know, I don't know where the confusion is really occurring. And we understand that it's a tool. Confusion. That's why the Rastaman say we burn Babylon because the Babylon is confusion. So we burn Babylon, right? So that confusion is not what we desire here. What we're looking for is solutions. So if you're here for confusion, that's not what we're here for. We're here for solutions. We're not here to talk down to any of our African brothers and sisters, wherever they are, whether they're on the continent or in the diaspora. We're calling for one African solution. That's what we're calling for.
And we don't talk down to anybody at all, or African brothers and sisters, nor anyone at all. We just don't talk down to anyone because people are people.
Yes, sir. And we respect people's sovereignty.
And the reason why we are here is because other people look at African people as less than
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I
So we
will
are
say
here to
no more of that.
uplift our African people, not to
Mhm.
talk down. You know what I mean? And we don't talk down to anyone at all. No,
Yes, sir.
no race, no creed, nothing at all, no religion, nothing at all. You know what I
And
mean?
we understand our history before colonialism, so we know how great we were as a people from them time there until this time. We just have to find
Find
ourselves
ourselves.
again,
Mm.
know,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's within the
A
leadership.
reclamation.
It's within the leadership who have to lead
Yeah.
from that front because they are the ones who are doing the wheeling and the dealings. You get me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's how it is, man. We do give thanks for the moment, man, and give thanks for the
Yeah,
interaction,
man.
which
Give
is something
thanks for
that we've
life.
been looking forward to for a long time, you know. Give big
And
up,
and, and,
big
and,
up.
and for the
Mhm.
viewer too, maybe at some point you'll jump on and we'll speak about African spirituality
Mhm.
in depth
Mhm.
because it's a
Yeah,
good
man.
topic to have.
Yes, sir. So
It would be nice to have people on the
Stepmaster.
ground joining the reasoning, so we have to make some effort to make some connection
Yes, sir.
and make some links
Stepmaster,
with people on the ground. So
Stepmaster should join the live next week, Sunday.
I want
Join the live next Sunday because you have a lot to say.
Yeah, man. I want to hear it.
Yeah, reach out.
yeah, I would like to go on a
Class at gmail.com and send an email away.
We can connect.
Yes, sir.
I would like to go on the record and saying that I am opposed to a caliphate in Sokoto State. I don't think that would benefit African people in no shape or form. And it is the responsibility of the Nigerian government to prevent such a caliphate to develop.
But Brother Delani, if you're against the caliphate in Sokoto, you're against Christianity or
in Nigeria.
No, there's a difference between Islam and caliphate. There's a difference. If the religion of Islam can flourish, can be allowed to exist, but a caliphate is an Islamic government under Sharia law.
And that is the reality on the ground at the moment. It's made up of Islamic people and Christian people. So
yeah,
they have to try and find some way of integrating
but
them.
again, too, this is a religion thing too, Brother Delani.
We can have a regular governmental administration, but it can't be based on the Islamic law or the Quran. It have to be based on the Constitution of Nigeria.
You see, we in the West, sometimes, because we grew up in these things and become normal to us, we grew up in these countries with these Christian laws and we become normal to it, but we live under some Christian laws and Christian rules and we don't see nothing wrong with it. But then we look at Muslim countries and when they live under Muslim laws and this is like something wrong with it. You understand?
No, we
can't. You want to live under a country
law, Christian law, it shouldn't be none of them. We don't want none of them. Christian law, Muslim law.
I agree. Yeah. No, we can't have the Bible as no constitution.
No, the Bible are the Quran. People exist and worship how them want to worship, when them want to worship.
God and master worship.
So what I'll say is this. What I'll say is this, right? There is a certain sensationalism attached to whenever we talk about Islam, based off of the media, based off of the history in terms of 9/11, Afghanistan, all of these things, the Taliban, all of these things, right? But what I'm saying is if you have a group of people in an area living and they want to practice this way of life.
Well, there's a feedback, there's a conversation in the background.
So it sounds like something's being played or something like that.
Yeah, like something else playing in the background,
Yaga.
No, sir.
Dada, read a comment there. Change how you think.
Change how you think. So read it and I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it.
I'm the thing. Change your thing says caliphate is not good, but at the same time, the current government in America, or at least the members of the Trump administration, refer to themselves as Christian Taliban. I don't know sure that's a Christian Taliban, but Christian nationalists is the
They're
thing.
close. They're close.
Yeah, it was the nationalist Taliban, what did it- and violate our constitution by using military to engage in warfare to support one religious group. And that's what I'm talking about. They are imposing Christianity as the good guy, good thing. And because sometimes we are in this hemisphere, like you know what I mean?
We adhere to that thinking.
Yeah,
But I'm not in for
all
that.
of these countries,
Mm-hmm.
European countries, Western countries are really Christian. Everything is Christian, you know. If you
I say
remember
Christian
when
extremists.
Obama has to prove it.
Christian identity.
Prove say that him and a Muslim. But if prove say man a Muslim.
Prove say man a Muslim.
Yes.
Christian extremists.
Yeah, man, prove say man a Muslim. You might,
Yes. No, I think there's a case for that where people are they try to minimize, they try to soften Christianity and pretty it up, but they don't say straight up that they are pushing Christian values, but they are. But
again, Brother Delany,
yes,
the Sokoto Caliphate, this existed already, you know, in this
Yeah.
place, you know.
Yeah.
You understand?
And
It
it
existed
was
already.
abolished in
Yes, it
1903.
existed already.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this was how they were
But it was
living.
abolished in 1903, though.
Yeah, this was
Since
how they was
1903,
living.
it hasn't
You understand?
existed.
Mhm.
change or you think he's saying something. Could you research it from he's saying that people in America actually calling themselves Christian Taliban. I've never seen it before.
no, I've never heard it. I've never heard it. I've never
now,
seen
so
that.
change how you think. Comment now, but I wasn't seeing it before. All right, let's check it.
I've never
Oh, the
seen
Holy Warrior. Yeah, but this is what we trying to move away from, right? On this
Exactly.
program too, is
Extremism
all
on
the
both
religious
Extremism on
ideology
both
that
sides.
influence
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. But
That's what we moving away from.
make sure we're not saying the wrong thing.
And one of the things is that these so-called holy warriors, they still have to abide by a constitution. They're not running the country by the Bible.
Right.
You understand? And that's the difference. Even across the Caribbean or the Afrobean, they have constitution. Across Africa, we have constitutions. We cannot allow no religion to become no constitution in any country.
But it's not that, Brother Dulani. Even the people writing the Constitution are influenced by religion.
Yeah, but I don't think we can.
Brother Delany, when
It's
you're
a carry. I know.
when you're going to a courthouse,
Right.
you put your hand on a Bible or you're
Bible.
hearing it.
Right.
Yes. What is that?
What
I
that is
agree.
the religious
I
influence.
reject that. I reject that. Let me say this. I think we need to have a broader discussion about religion because religion is a cultural container too, It
Mm-hmm.
contains our values and our traditions as we move forward. The only difference with us as African people, we are carrying other people's cultural container. We are carrying containers for European people or for Arabian people. We need to have our own African cultural container that contain our cultural values and our cultural ideals. And that's the difference. Now, the fact that men are influenced by their values, so we can take the best ideas out of doctrines and write them in a way that's acceptable to all of our society. You know what I'm saying? So
what I'm saying, Brother Delany, just like you're calling for the caliphate not to be in Nigeria, we have to call for all these other countries to not have
Christian organizations.
Because Stepmaster said something here. He said Christianity is deeply embedded in our
Of
land.
course. It must.
Constitution.
It must.
I agree.
It must.
But when they see other countries, Muslim countries do the same thing,
Same thing.
oh,
It's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the difference is that you can take elements out of your religious text about justice and equality and codified it into law.
Mhm.
That's a difference in taking something like the Quran and make that your constitution, or taking the Bible or the Abrahamic teachings and make that your constitutions. See, we have to be able to take the best values, the best practice, what work, what can make everybody prosperous and happy, and make and
We
codify
agree with the
that.
brother Delani, but
We
what we're
agree,
saying
but
is,
it's
what
going to
we're
be
saying is,
influenced by a religious ideology.
because of our Eurocentric Christian
Upbringing.
affiliation,
Yes.
we
It's going
are.
to
It's like
influence that
it's
thought.
like we become aligned to
With
Christian
Christian values.
ideologies and said this is
Ideology, right?
the
Yes.
moral high
Yes.
ground. So what
Yes.
we're
Right.
saying is, a person, a group of people, if they wish to live under Sharia law,
Yeah,
it's their decision to
yes,
live
listen that
under
man.
Sharia
And
law because
people
they have
are
the
living
right
on a
to
Sharia
choose to live
law
under
and
that.
they love it. They
Yeah.
love to be living on a Sharia
Yes.
law. That's what they want
Yes.
for
Okay.
themselves and their
Now,
family.
you see, I can agree with you from a set of people who live in that way.
Mhm.
But I'm saying that from an African descendants of African heritage people
Mhm,
who have been dispossessed of our African heritage,
mhm.
I am not into this imposition of Christianity or Islam on our people.
Right.
Right.
That's where we
Right.
are. That's where
You know what
we
I'm saying?
are.
And that's
I,
But
where we
what
are.
we're saying
I'm not,
is, what we're
but
saying
those
is
people
that
who have been
opposition, though,
living
brother
that way,
Delani, that opposition, though, brother Delani, should not
mhm,
result in the loss of life of
that's
people.
correct.
You
That's
understand?
correct.
It should not result in the loss of life of people,
Right.
where a person goes say, "Oh, because we want to impose Sharia or we want to maintain Christianity, then we go
Mhm.
fight to determine who and people go dead." No, we're
Right.
not
We
in
can have
favor of that,
a
brother.
peaceful solution.
Yes, sir.
A peaceful solution.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
there are certain ideals
Mm-hmm.
like equality and justice that I don't think is the monopoly of any religion. So the concept like treat others as you want to be treated, those are universal concepts.
Yeah,
Respect.
those are human
Those shall not.
concepts.
Those shall
Yes.
not
You live
slander
that speak to
Right.
another human being.
Mm.
Those shall not steal and those shall not take other people's things. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should have a home. Everybody should have clothing. Should have food. Should have those type of principles should be universal.
Universal concepts.
See, so the baby should be cared for. Hospital and medical care should be taken. These are universal concepts.
Universal
Yes, sir.
concepts. Correct.
That's right.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Real talk.
a civilian should not be mistreated by any governmental institutions or law enforcement apparatus. Should not come out and abuse
Right.
any citizenship.
Mhm.
These are universal concepts.
Mhm.
And
Of course.
But
You know,
the next thing I'm going to point out to you, brother Delani, I'm going to tell you this to you, right? In
Mhm.
terms of civic activity and civic duties and awareness of themselves as a community and a society, I think the Islamic way them better than the Christian way, brother. May I tell you the
Okay.
As
truth?
far as
In
yes,
terms of
civic
civic,
duty.
how them
Yes.
treat each other and deal with each other as people, and I think it better. You
If
understand?
we looking at it from outside, yes,
sir.
yes,
Yeah, man.
yes, yes.
Explain and give us some example of how
Like
they
for
I-
example, for example, right? In the Islamic way of how me see them deal with things, them not deal with the crime like how the Christian society them deal with crime. Like crime less to me. In my assessment of it, I think crime less to me.
like for instance, if you steal something, you get a hand chop off or a finger or all
If
that.
that need to happen, then that need to happen. If that need to happen, that need to happen.
Personally,
Mhm.
I believe and I think this is a fact that Christianity, Islam, and Judaism is brothers and sisters. They are
Long time.
really it's the same household.
Abrahamic traditions.
They're really similar. They are
Yeah.
very
Different
similar. So maybe Christianity has moved away from some of the things that
Yes, sir.
Islam is doing.
Yes,
But
sir.
they're the same thing. If
Yes,
I
sir.
was looking at a religion or a way of life to say, okay, this is what I want to take on, outside of Africa would have been the
Buddhism.
Buddhism. I love Buddhism. I think it's because I'm a Rastafarian, it's closer to Rastafarian. Yeah,
I think
understand?
if I was looking for a place to anchor myself, I like Rasta. I would probably go into Rasta. You know, the cultural Rasta. You know, I like the culturalness of Rasta, but I know that Rasta is still an offspring of the Abrahamic thing, so that's why me not really go the road there.
No,
But
no,
it's not
Rasta is no, we
Abrahamic thing,
reject
fire.
that, man. Rasta is not no offspring and Abrahamic thing.
But
No,
you
man.
can't, you don't get Rasta without Abrahamic traditions. You don't get,
Nah, no,
No,
sir.
no. Hey,
you get
No,
to,
sir.
you know what? Let's
oh, you get the
end
Lion
this
of Judah.
No,
Oh, you
sir.
get the Lion of
Say the reason
Let's
for
end
next
this
year.
because this is a topic.
That different.
It's a long
Yeah,
topic.
that
So let's end this
lengthy
thing.
one, brother, do that. But
Big up,
I would
big
say
up,
this as
big
a
up all
Rasta man,
the
right?
viewers and
No, but
I
subscribers.
follow no Abrahamic tradition
Big
or
up all
no
the viewers and
Abrahamic tradition
subscribers
influence I.
who join in the
so
live
you
today.
don't use the Bible.
Yes, sir.
No, man.
Oh,
Bible is irrelevant to me.
Okay. So,
Irrelevant.
Right. Yeah, but no.
so who's the
Hold
Lion
on
of
it.
Judah?
Save the
So who's
reason
the
for
Lion
the
of
next chat class.
eh?
Okay, I thought that it was the Lion of Judah.
No, sir.
Save
No,
the
sir.
reasoning. Save the
No.
reasoning for your next chat class.
That's the confusion with most ones about
Bingy.
Rasta.
Bingy.
99%
Save the
is
reasoning for your
Rasta.
Yeah.
next chat
No,
class.
sir.
But
No
99%
Bible.
Big up
Rasta.
all the viewers.
99%.
If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe to the channel.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
Share
Big
share,
up One
share the
Step
channel
Master.
with friends and
Big up
family.
One Step Master 1988. Love the
Yeah.
reasoning. Big up One Flex. Big
Big
up
up
African
Kingston.
Goddess. Change how you think. All the ones who have commented
Yeah, man.
and have been commented, who are active in the comment section. We give thanks for the interaction. We give thanks for the support, and we are saying one perfect love every time. You know
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, give thanks for
South
life.
Africanism, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, right.
And big up Yaga.
Yeah, man. Big bless
Yaga,
up.
shut it down.
Yeah, man.
That is it.
Yes.
Guidance.
Yeah, man. Upful reasoning, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah, man.
Upful, upful.
But brother Lulani next time.
Bingy,
Yeah,
do
so
it.
Stop
you
it.
have to-
Yaga, stop it.
Are you Bingy? Are you Bingy?